Okay, what we will do, what you will get from my side by today is an introduction about Aishu itself. I'm not sure if you heard something about the Chinese company Aishu, what we are doing, what we are. I will also introduce you some of the guys you will work together with. Later on, CK and Emma will do a live demo and some technical introduction to you. And later on, we can speak together about some pitches and competitive slides, and I also will hand over you some information about some references in the market from EMEA wide. So introduction to EMEA, I told you already, yes, we are coming from China. We are the Chinese and we are the new one in the EMEA market. What we do in the EMEA market, we are here since now almost 2 years. Our headquarter for EMEA, we founded it in Germany, in Hamburg. So, and this department is under my lead. This is, I will come on set by the next slide. So let me bring you some information about Aishu itself. Aishu was founded in 2006. So when I say we are the new one, this means yes, we are the new one for the EMEA market, but new in general, we are not new in general. We are older than 16 years and we have the experience of more than 16 years. We have worldwide more than 1,800 employees. To be honest, most of them are placed in our R&D, so in our development department. This also is a hint or a point that we are absolutely technology driven, and also a huge amount of our revenue, what we got together with our more than 1,000 partners worldwide, we spent, of course, in the in development and producing new technologies. Worldwide, we have more than 24,000 customers. Also a point that we are not new, but nevertheless, yes, I always call myself after 2 years new, because Europe or EMEA is always something different than we are talking about Aishu as the leader in the Asia Pacific and or in China mainland market. I mentioned before our headquarters is in Shanghai. We are headquartered in Shanghai, of course. We have also some departments, some main departments in Singapore and in Germany. You saw it maybe in some of our slides already, our slogan for a smarter future, and later on after the presentation, I will move over to you our new slogan and our new wording, the data-driven company, and what our vision will be for the future, where we want to go with you, with our partners, and of course with our customers. A quick overview about some people maybe you should know, but I think for you, Ekaterina or Dimitri or Victor, so you know your guys from your local guys from Vector Group. Of course, this is your main contact, but here you have as well some pictures of us. This is on the left side, you see Frank Hayes. This is our founder and our CEO, so our boss in general. Our marketing lead and leading the Singapore headquarter is Sophie Lee. And today, it's an honor for me once more. I'm the EMEA Director for Sales and Operation, and I'm leading the EMEA department. We decided to bring it here to Germany, in Hamburg. From my point of view, I'm living, by the way, in Munich, not in Hamburg, but this is something, but what you prefer. So I heard from the introduction by Ekaterina that Gartner was mentioned several times. Yes, we are in the Gartner quadrant. We are mentioned by Gartner several times, and we are proud that we are the only Chinese company that is always or several times mentioned in the Gartner quadrant. Also on IDC reports we are in, and this is something we are definitely proud of. We are working in more than 40 countries already. You could imagine, of course, that where the Chinese business is placed. It is Middle East, this is Africa as well from my side, but I did not mention so far. It's not only EMEA, it's as well Latin America, what belongs to my responsibility, and also sales. The business is growing very, very fast. The employees I mentioned to you, the partners as well. Yeah, and if you need some more of the Gartner reports, please contact Ekaterina, and together with our marketing department, we have to look what we can share, what is not official, what we can allow to share with Gartner. Gartner is always a bit difficult in sharing information, either on their homepage itself. If you need more details on that, please come in contact with Factor Group, and we will get you all this information on your desk as well, of course. We have global strategies, of course, with global partners. For example, Huawei, SAP, Microsoft, Inspur will come as well, Alibaba. So these are our global strategy partners. We have 900 R&D engineers. I think this number has to be reviewed, 900 plus, because we hired a lot of people in the past. We have more than 300 patents on our sites, 6 R&D centers worldwide. One of these is, of course, you see it here. For me, the most important one, of course, in Hamburg, and of course in Shanghai, my headquarter, where our product department and our development resides, of course, as well. We have our artificial intelligence lab. We will see later on when I come to the slides what we are doing. It's at the end of the day, it's not plain or simple backup in our product portfolio. We are doing more, or would like to do more with you, all of that, of course. Yeah, here it is already what we do. Creativity is connecting things. Why are we doing that? You can see here in the overview already, it's not a secret anymore. We have in total, yeah, for the EMEA market, I placed this on the left side. We are going out in the EMEA market with 3 tools or with 3 products. And at the end, we have even more. Any data would be interesting for mentioning by today. Honestly, for the presentation by today, we will concentrate on AnyBackup. This is, yeah, data protection, disaster recovery in physical and virtual environments, into cloud, on-premise. So all the wishes of a data protection software. Then we have AnyShare in place. AnyShare is collaboration and information tool, where you can share your documents, you can work together with your colleagues or outside the company. You have government features in, so it's a really, really good and easy product for collaboration. And as well, of course, for handling unstructured data. And at the end of the day, any robot, when I called it here machine data, we can look with any robot into the log files of your systems as well. And then over analyzing the log files and knowing over AnyBackup and AnyShare, the meta information and all the other information. This is already a hint for you when I say a data-driven company. That means in general, people are doing the workflows and move the data ahead from one point to another point. And over that, we can also let the data decide where they want to go or where they think they are at best. At the end of the day, we could also give you some, over AnyShare, we could also give you some information. Sometimes it's called cold information in your environment. This means data, what resides in your shares, in your information systems, but what is already forgotten by your employees, by your colleagues. So by AnyShare, for a simple example, you work today for a presentation for AnyBackup, and when you log in next time or by the next click on what's new for you, you can easily see, hey, people who worked on Aishu or on data protection also used this and that information and so on. So cold data, unused data of the complete unstructured data environment will not be given for you anymore. That means you will have always given all the information you are allowed to see by the policies of your company. When I say by your company, of course, data security is a very huge point here for us as well. Of course, you decide where your data reside and what data is shared with your colleagues, with outside your company, with your partners or whatever. This is all done over your own policies. Even when you go into a public cloud environment and everything would become installed in public cloud, you decide where the data resides, what is become handled with the data, and who has access to it. This is main important thing from our side. So this is the picture, of course, of the big data infrastructure of the brain itself by AnyShare. To give you a quick overview about our main 3 products, AnyBackup by today, AnyShare. I think it is worth to go into one of the next sessions maybe and link it together at the end with AnyRobot, with the data in behind how a machine can help you. I will give you some easy examples later on after some presentations by Elmar and CK later on, so that you will easily understand all our approaches here. A quick introduction from my side for AnyBackup software. You see it as a software subscription service. Yes, we can become delivered as a service, XaaS approach, so everything as a service. You can install it on premise as a typical, let's call it old-fashioned system. And we are talking here about data protection, so the insurance for all of your data. An easy pitch would be, it's plain backup. What should a backup do? It should protect your data from disaster recovery, from disasters, from earthquakes or rain, heavy rain, and things like that, or as well from lazy administrator handling situations, or by deleting by accidents and so on. All this is, of course, covered by a backup software. My opinion here is that a kind of insurance for the data. Data is the most important thing, is the most valuable information for your company, but an insurance should never become more expensive than the data worth is itself. So one of the secrets I gave to you, we are feature rich. We can handle all the features, most of all the features, of course, of our competitors. But at the end, you will get definitely a better price on it, because it should be a fair environment as well. You can see here, as I mentioned, it is backup and recovery, it is disaster recovery, it's a data archive and security compliance situation. You can also bring out over our AnyBackup solution. I mentioned it to you, we are on a virtualized platform, cloud platform, physical servers, so everything what you want to do, as well as containerized environments we can protect, of course, as well. By storage sites, block storage, file storage, object storage in the cloud, offline storage, like Blu-rays, DVDs, or whatever you want to have, we will support this for you. And at the end of the day, this is also something, when you see here recovery environment, what we can do, we can not only protect your data, we can help you to migrate the data, for example, from on-premise into cloud, or from one cloud to another cloud. So cross-cloud platforms, cross-platform scenarios, we can also handle with you together, or let's say with you as the partners in the market together for your end customers. This is more or less all from my side as an overview, of course, because I do not want to go such deep into the technical situations. This will become shown to you by Elmar and CK later on. What I wanted to mention, or what I mentioned and what I mention once more, cost effective. We are using subscriptions to reduce the TCO. And at the end, the high performance definitely is given by the scenarios we can bring over to you. For an example, when I say cost efficient, there are a lot of competitors in the market where individual features cost additional money or additional subscription. When you buy the plain backup from our site, everything is included. This is included, like how you want to come together with offline storage, or if you want to have inline copy, or if you want to have deduplication, all is already included. Even in our prices, support, of course, is included. Either you want to have an additional, even more powerful support census, we can hand over to you as well. It's easy to use. When I say easy to use, Elmar and CK will show this to you later on in the live demo. Our color is not green. Our color is maybe more in blue and blue. And this is, I would say, the main difference. And when I say it's easy to use, yeah, I mentioned before, we are the new one, and new mainly is more agile, more fittable for the common market. And when we have deep features, you can find this very, very easily. We have a strong compatibility, of course. Here it is extremely mentioned with China special databases or cloud platforms where we came from. Just a simple example, of course, from our worldwide partnership with Huawei, Xfusion, and also products from Huawei and the Chinese Alibaba and so on are already, of course, included. We came from this. This is our home market, of course. And comprehensive protection, we will see it later on. We can do it over different SLAs, that everything will come back in time. So over when I'm talking about recovery point objects or recovery time objects, yeah, I think from my point of view, if you run here definitely into questions or need more questions, always come over, contact your contact persons on at Factor Group, come over, don't hesitate with anything. It is really a good tool and nice to work with you. I also prepared for you a quick pitch, what's backup is, and here's a link to our European English written homepage. We are developing at the moment our homepage step by step. We will come out, I think, yeah, by November the plan is by November with our training portal. So all of our partners and partners, this is you as the resellers, as the VARs, value-added resellers. You will have the possibility to do the trainings and the certifications from our side. They will be for free, of course. And then you will get a closer contact to us. And yeah, here once more an overview over some core functionalities from our side. We can do backup to cloud. I mentioned archive to cloud, of course, data migration to cloud, switch the complete service into the cloud, disaster recovery across cloud. So all the main cloud, public cloud providers we have in our list of compatibility. And I think from my side, before I would go ahead with some slides of mine, I think it would be great to see now a quick presentation of our environment. I think Elmar, CK is doing the live demo, or? CK, Elmar, are you there?
Yes, sure. Good morning, all the friends online. So next, I want to share something about the introduction to AnyBackup to all of you. And let me share my screen.
Yes, we see.
Is this the full screen for you?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, Emma, go ahead. All fine.
Okay, so this is Emma from Shanghai Aishu AnyBackup product department speaking, and I feel really honored and glad to get this opportunity to share something about AnyBackup with all of you guys. And since this is the first time that we met you, so I will start by sharing what AnyBackup is, and then show some advantages of AnyBackup. After that, show you some typical use cases to help better know when the customer will need AnyBackup. And at the final part, actually, this is a very interesting part. I will show you several customer cases to help you better understand the usage of AnyBackup. So now we begin with the first part about what is AnyBackup. We position AnyBackup as the tiered data protection and data service platform. Why we say that? Let's look at the bottom of this slide. So AnyBackup protects various workloads and applications no matter where they are, on-premises, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud, as well as public cloud. And with rich technologies such as backup, CDM, CDP, it is able to satisfy the different SLAs for both the resilient business such as SAP HANA, Exchange, Hyper-V, and the Agile business such as Hadoop and the Fusion side. So besides, there are different solutions such as the anti-ransomware solution and the solution for hybrid cloud and the multi-cloud and the protection for unstructured data, something like that, to solve the different challenges for customers in different scenarios. In addition to the general data protection, actually lots of enterprises, especially the large ones, they concern very much about how to reuse the backup data, not only for recovery. Here it is. AnyBackup provides the rich data services such as disaster recovery verification, dev test, and query analytics, and cross-cloud replication and migration to better explore the data value, to make the data be more valuable for our customers. There are 4 products designed in AnyBackup Family 7, and they are AnyBackup Enterprise 7. We will call it the short name Enterprise, and Express 7, Master Server 7, and Disaster Recovery Management 7. This one we can also call it DRM. So what's the difference? Enterprise, it is for large organizations with backup, CDM, and the CDP in one single console. Express for small and mid-sized enterprise with backup and the CDP only. And the AnyBackup Master Server, well, it does not provide any backup or recovery functionalities. It is a management product providing the centralized management for multiple backup domains with a very large screen. And the DRM, this is a very innovative product here. It provides the unified management of recovery resources and do the orchestration and provide such as the DR exercise automatically based on the backup data. So you don't, with this DRM, you don't need to manually orchestrate the order and the DR exercise. It's all automatic. We have generally talked about what AnyBackup exactly is. Next, I want to talk about some highlights of AnyBackup. First of all, you see this is a architecture that separates the storage and the computing. Both the computing nodes and storage nodes are distributed. And the storage nodes are divided into backup storage services and the storage services. Both of them are distributed. And the storage services contain distributed SSD cache layer and the distributed blocks. You see, when backing up the massive data, it can distribute the data to multiple nodes through multiple clients and multiple task concurrency to achieve an efficient concurrency capability. When the distributed backup storage service receives those data, it will write those data to the distributed storage, which will first write the small I/O to the distributed cache based on the I/O size, and the large ones will be placed directly on the disk. At present, our distributed computing architecture can be extended up to 8 nodes, and the storage architecture can be extended up to 32 nodes. I would like to say that this distributed architecture is actually born for massive data management. Deduplication is a very hot topic. Many of our customers have concerned about this very much. This is a well-known function and different from what other vendors do. AnyBackup deduplication is global and in-source. What does that mean? The source deduplication can significantly reduce the storage space and save the cost and alleviate the burden of the bandwidth because the data is deduplicated already when it is transferred and stored. And the dedupe ratio you see there it can differ based on the actual production environments, but according to one of our customers' feedback, the ratio could be up to 90%. Incremental forever backup, as the name suggests, the full backup at the first beginning, all subsequent backups are incremental. And the funny thing is that each time it performs incremental backup, a full copy will be synthesized automatically, which means you can get your full data at all the time. And the biggest effects are backup performance improvement and the storage space saving, and at the same time, save your money. Instant recovery, we also call it the mount recovery. This is an effect achieved by CDM technology. And in CDM, there is a golden image which can generate numerous virtual copies through virtual clone. It is these virtual copies that can be used for recovery within several minutes because there is no data movement or format conversion. The data format is as the production data, as we know that the backup data has its unique format, but for CDM, no. The data is exactly the same as the production data. So in this case, the recovery efficiency can be improved by 20 times according to the test. The NAS backup, well, we all know that the massive data protection has been a big problem for some time. The massive files protection is painful for customers, and AnyBackup aggregates the kilobyte level files, the small ones, into the bigger megabyte ones, then back them up, breaking the performance bottleneck. There is a very important technology called the small files aggregation. This technology significantly reduces the backup window, and when perform recovery, those bigger files will be recovered into the small ones. And with instant recovery combination, the recovery time can also be reduced. And according to the actual test, the backup for 1 terabyte of files, each one is like 512 gigabytes. The performance, the backup performance, it actually is improved by 27 times. I mean, this is compared with the traditional NDMP backup. Cloud native, well, this is the key technology of digital transformation, and this is a hot topic and has also gained a lot of concerns. And Kubernetes, as the key component of cloud native, also has gained a lot of attention. And AnyBackup has developed and designed this protection solution for Kubernetes. It supports protection for different versions of Kubernetes and provide the BR capability based on different granularities, such as the namespace and workload. And AnyBackup finished the backup based on CSI and also non-CSI, which is very innovative. And the backup data, you know what, it can not only be used for recovery, it can also be used for DR exercise and DR management. And by the way, I want to mention that lots of our customers ask us whether we can integrate with the container management system. Well, I would like to say we cannot support that right now, but we are planning that. That is on our roadmap. And in addition to those highlights mentioned by Wolfgang, I would like to summarize another ones here. Generally speaking, there are four another main advantages of AnyBackup. First one, the all-in-one architecture, which means in terms of IT environment, AnyBackup protects physical, virtual, and cloud. And in terms of workloads that those organizations may have, AnyBackup provides protection for both the resilient ones and the agile ones, which means one single product covering all aspects. Second, the great compatibility. For both traditional workloads, such as the operating system, file, database, virtual machine, and the modern workloads, such as Hadoop, Kubernetes, AnyBackup are able to support them all. Besides, AnyBackup also supports many kinds of the object storage, such as AWS, Azure, Alibaba Cloud, and Huawei Cloud. The third one, tiered service, actually, this refers to the scheduled backup, CDN, and the CDP. All these three ones combination provides the different RPO and RTO objectives for customers. Last but not least, the flexible license. The enterprises can buy services as subscription by year or month to fully consider and experience. And according to some true feedback from our customers in Russia, some of them want the perpetual license. And honestly speaking, we are designing that, and I believe that there will be perpetual license in Russia also in the very, very near future. Now let's see when the customer may need AnyBackup. Typically, there are 5 scenarios: on-prem data protection, DR for core applications and workloads, off-site DR, hybrid cloud protection, and data archive. Now let's look at the details one by one. For on-premises data protection, what kind of customers will choose this model? Number one, they run business and the data on premises instead of cloud. Number two, they have no plan to move to cloud. Number three, the most important one, they got existing infrastructure such as servers. So in this case, obviously deploying AnyBackup on premises can satisfy their requirements and use the different technologies such as backup, CDM, CDP to protect diversified workloads with different RPO and RTO objectives. The second scenario, some customers, they require the disaster recovery for the mission critical business. And it is, I would like to mention that it is necessary to prepare the disaster recovery resources in advance and create the CDP job as disaster recovery is achieved through CDP. And through this technology, the critical data can be protected continuously. And when achieve the takeover and achieve the takeover functionality when the production fails. and guaranteeing the business continuity. We have met a lot of organizations that they have more than one data center, sometimes two, sometimes even three. So in this case, they may need the offsite disaster recovery. They have one center in one city and another one in another city. So in this case, the customer just needs to deploy 2 AnyBackups in the 2 centers and do the data redundancy through remote replication, and sometimes even the reverse replication. Not only the offsite DR can be achieved, you can also do the backup and the management centrally. Well, hybrid cloud is a popular trend here, and we've talked about so many about the on-premises. Now we well know that some organizations, they're trying the cloud transformation. So in this case, they need to back up to the cloud and sometimes migrate data to cloud. So for this scenario, AnyBackup provides 2 deployment modes. First one, deployment in the cloud. This mode is more suitable for those customers who have no additional IT infrastructure and no plan to add it. In this situation, the customers only need to deploy AnyBackup in the cloud and backup data to cloud through both backup or the replication. You see, this is quite similar to the last one, and the only tiny difference between these 2 slides is the deployment mode. This is showing the other one, on-prem deployment. Opposite to the last one, some customers, they want to go to cloud and they have some existing servers already on premises. So in this case, the customer just needs to deploy AnyBackup in their servers and do the regular backup. This is enough. Now we come to the last one. Data archive is needed for some reasons, such as long-term retention or the compliance requirement. And AnyBackup support multiple archive media, including the cloud object storage, tape library, and Blu-ray box. So customers can have enough freedom to choose one or the combination according to their actual situation. Of course, most of customers prefer the cloud archive as this is more cost-effective for them. I sincerely hope the above content help you know more about AnyBackup, and you may be also interested in some real cases to see how customer thought about AnyBackup and how they use it, what is the usage situation. And for sure, this is very important part. In mainland China, honestly speaking, AnyBackup has made a great achievement and covering customers in nearly all industries and occupying a very good share, especially in government industry. We have covered more than 90% of national ministries. And meanwhile, we have invested a lot in the global business and got a very good performance there. There are hundreds of thousands of hundreds of customers in over 40 countries. And here are some customer references. And there are four additional slides to talk more about the details. I have selected several typical and representative cases to share with you. So you see the first one is a bank in Singapore. This is a very typical of virtual machines protection. The situation is there are over 8,000 virtual desktops and massive virtual machines to be protected. And this bank has 2 data centers requiring the offsite disaster recovery. So in this case, this customer deployed 2 AnyBackups in the 2 centers separately. And And if one center fails, the other one can perform quick restore and take over the business. Well, this is a company in Russia.
We lost you.
Elma? Yeah.
Emma, do you hear us? We lost you. We don't hear your voice. Emma, please connect the voice, or maybe I mute the microphone because of its.
I'm checking back with you on our internal tool. 1 second, please.
Hello, guys.
Yes, you're back.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what is wrong with my computer or my phone, and I re-logged in. So now you can hear my voice.
All right.
Yes.
Everything is good.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Share your screen.
Sure.
Now is good.
Okay, good. So right now we just talk about a case in Russia, and we talk about the virtualization platform that this customer has deployed. And in this case, there are 3 additional requirements of this customer. The first one would be, let me see this. So the first one would be the unified management of the 2 backup systems, because they have deployed the 2 AnyBackup in the 2 centers. And then the visible DR status of the 2 centers. And the third one is the seamless expansion of capacity, because this is just the first period project. There will be more and more virtual machines there and on this virtualization platform. So in this case, the customer has deployed 2 AnyBackup in these 2 centers, and also deployed 1 AnyBackup master server to do the unified management. In this case, AnyBackup achieved the fast and batch backup and recovery for the customer with various technologies. Now, this is a real case in Russia. And next 2 are Chinese ones, very typical ones. And these 2, I can tell more details even, because I have been participating in these 2 projects very deeply. So in this case, there are 3 data centers, 2 in Beijing. I bet you all have heard about Beijing. And another one is in another province, another city, which is called Chengdu. This is like 2,001 kilometers far away from Beijing, and 10 petabytes of data, over 5,000 applications in over 40 secondary branches. And why I said that this is typical, because this customer used the solution of 3 centers in 2 cities, which is a geographic redundancy mode with very high SLAs. All data from the branches are replicated to the primary center in Beijing, and then back them up to the secondary center in Beijing and the 3rd center in Chengdu to do the site disaster recovery. So in this case, we can see that AnyBackup is able to guarantee the disaster recovery not only in the same city, but also do the active and active mode, like we said, the dual active mode. Well, the last case is a bank in Shanghai. So this project is related to CDM, and I would say that this bank originally used the Veritas product, and for some reason they want to replace that. And the scenario here is quite simple. This banking has a very big Oracle, it's like 50 to 70 for a single database. And what they want to do is, there are 2 locations, 2 cities. One is in Shanghai, another is like 300 kilometers on another side. They want to take over applications in another side. So normally they do the backup and the restore, nearly using 37 hours to do the backups. And it can be done to bring up applications in another side. Now we got a solution for them. Actually, we got an appliance. It is an appliance, all-flash appliance in this case. So what we do now is that we set our appliance within the local side as 3 nodes, and other sites can have a connection, so that the result is very impressive. The application can be recovered in 30 minutes around, but the appliances are very high. It is all flash, and it is not a normal appliance because the customer requires very high IOPS, and also they want to handle the IO from the production storage. Actually, the customer treats the appliance like the production storage, because they come with an application with a very huge application. And in this way, we save a lot of money for the customer, because otherwise they should buy the same type of storage in another site, and which costs very, very high. So this is a very typical and a very big project in China, which shows the advantages of AnyBackup, such as help with the faster recovery, cost saving, and so on. So basically, this is all the content that I want to share with you about AnyBackup and some of the advantages, and I hope that is useful and helpful for you. And thank you very much for your attention here. I hope we can cooperate together to better serve more customers in Russia. Thank you. And Wolfgang, please go on with your presentation there.
Yes. Do we plan with the live demo at the moment for now, or shall we move it to the end?
Now we switched demo.
Then it would be the case honor to go on with the presentation.
So you just end your presentation here, and now it's CK's turn, right?
CK should be next, and at the end I will give some words about the data-driven company.
Okay, sure, very clear. So CK?
Yes. Okay, let me share screen for you. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, hello, this is CK from China. Let me introduce AnyBackup for you. First, let's log in AnyBackup by operator user. After successful login, we can see that the left side of the page is the navigation bar, and the right side is the content of the navigation bar. When we choose overview, we can see a lot of information such as job status, and that there are 3 types of tasks, such as copy data management, backup and recovery, and continuous protection. Next, we can see other informations such as client status. AnyBackup is a CS architecture, and the client needs to be installed when using AnyBackup. We can see how many clients are online and offline, and the status of the runner. Next, you can also see object to protect it. You can see how many client, how many virtualization platform, cloud platform, object storage to be protected in our system. We can also see the statistic of runner type. There are 3 types of runner, and we can see the number of each type of runner. Next, we can see the capacity usage, which can help us monitor the usage of system storage and remind us to increase the storage if the space is not enough. In this interface, we also can view the system situation at a different time. We can view the situation within 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, and so on. AnyBackup has 3 backup functions. The first one is copy data management, and the second one is backup and recovery. And the third one is continuous data protection. And backup and recovery is the function we use the most. Now I can create a backup job. Select client that we want to backup. We want to backup a file system, so we choose it. Next. And now we can choose the file or directory that we want to backup. For example, we want to backup this file. We choose this file, and next. And the storage media, we use OFS. And for backup options, there are many options. Now let me introduce one by one. For incremental forever backup, if this option is enabled, each incremental backup will generate a point in time, which is equal to a full backup point in time. And for lengthly, this option only applies to standalone file system backup. If lengthly is enabled for a job, FC link will be used to transfer data. For the forced data retention, data will not be clean. within the retention period, once it is enabled, we can set any day we want. And for transfer and storage encryption, if we enabled, data for transfer and storage will be encrypted. For data compression, once it is enabled, backup data will be compressed to reduce storage occupied. For the deduplication, once selected, the duplicated data will not be backup during data backup. Now we can try to verify this option. For the flow control, we can limit data transmission for a certain period of time. We can set a period to limit the speed. And for the multi-channel backup, once enabled, you can set file scanning concurrency and data reading and sending concurrency. For customer script, support running script provided by user. For auto retry, once enabled, backup will be restarted after job fail until success. For file aggregation, small file in the same directory will be aggregated into a large file and write into the backup storage to make a backup faster. Now next, we can set a job name. And finish and choosing. We can check in history list. As you can see, already success, and we can check detailed information. It's the first time to running this job, so the deduplication rate is 0, and we can try to run it again to verify the deduplication. We choose this job again and start. We can select full backup and start. Success. We check the detail. As you can see, we back up the same file, and the second time, the deduplication rate is 100%, and the backup data is 0B. The first time is, yes, the first time, deduplication rate is 0. And then we can try to create recovery job to restore the data that we back up. Before we create this job, we can try to delete that file, and then we execute the recovery job. we can try to delete this file and then recovery. Now there is no this file. And now we create a recovery job. Select point in time. We recover to the original server. And save to the original path. Yes, running success. And then we can check if the file exists or not. Okay, as you can see, the file was restored success. At the same time, we can, if you want to execute the job automatically, we can create a policy. For example, if we want to execute the job weekly, we can create a weekly policy. For example, we want to execute the job on Monday every week. Yes, create a success. Then we can add this policy to the job. Policy, backup policy. Then add this policy for this job. We can set the time and the backup model. For example, we want to execute this job on Monday, every Monday at maybe 5 o'clock. And now this job will be executed on Monday, next Monday. Okay, that's my part. Thank you.
Thank you, CK.
Okay.
We have, I believe, only one question what remain in the chat. Is it possible to combine master server and express in one infrastructure for central management of robo offices in retail?
Yes, only if the specifications of the hardware qualified, then the master server and the enterprise or express software can be installed on the same server.
Okay. Thank you. And maybe you have some additional information. Is it possible to create the synthetic backup from incremental copies? It's like a reverse incremental backup.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get your point. Would you please? Yeah.
Is it possible to create the synthetic backup from incremental copies?
Yes, yes. So you see, each time that AnyBackup performs incremental backup, then the incremental data would be synthesized automatically into the full copy. You don't need to do it manually.
Okay, thank you. Just no any more cases, questions.
Саша, еще вопрос.
А.
One more question in the chat.
Okay.
So if we have the full backup, how such copy indexed for granular recovery at creation or at restoration?
Well, you can read the last question in the chat. This Alexander is asking how much.
Yeah, Elma, you can read in the chat while CK will continue the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can text the answers in the chatting, and I think Wolfgang may have some presentation slides left.
So you mean we should work in parallel to save some time? We can do this, of course, as well. No worries. But maybe sorry, maybe there are some more questions in the chat. I think not really, but please interrupt, or at the end of the session we always have some time to answer questions. Also for the future, if you run into questions for ideas, for products and so on, projects, contact your contacts at Factor Group, and we will come back together with them with the correct answers. Maybe also interesting for you, if you have seen it or tracked it, our installation is done on a Linux installation. So we do not need to have a Windows license or everything in place. It's all done over Linux. And there has been as well one or two, not questions, but comments regarding licensing. Yes, in general, we are having subscriptions. The subscriptions licensing we are doing over back-end terabytes for the moment. We have on calculators that we can recalculate your environment back into front end. So we could calculate between front end and back end capacity, but recalculation needs a deep insight in the project and in the environment of the customer as well. Furthermore, we could also license over the number of the subscriptions. We could license over the number of agents. And of course, as Elva mentioned before, we are working with high pressure on a perpetual licensing model as well for you, for the Russian market. This is the update from my side regarding, but tomorrow we will have more insights regarding the commercial part as promised. Tomorrow is the sales part. Yeah, what I want to show you maybe for the end as an outview or outlook where we want to go together with you and with all in the future is the so-called data-driven companies. This is a kind of new slogan for us for the future. What is a data-driven company and what does it mean? Traditionally wise, we are so-called data-aided. This means a traditional enterprise, the product, the data is a byproduct. A byproduct means this is you use the data because you have. So this means employees and the data assists into the business system, and in between you can call it workflows, you can share documents in between, and you share your experience on set, you start a discussion on set. This is a well-known world we are living at the moment. What we try to do in the future is the so-called data-driven. That means the business systems generate or know the data, and they are moved over automatically to the people who needs to know that, as well to the systems who needs to know that. Wherever you need to have, and you have the allowance of course, to show the information, the data, and all the wise information. You will get this information. What means this for our information? Let me maybe start with the last slide for data-driven company. You see here again the structural data, the unstructured, the meshing data, and the knowledge graph. This is exactly what we have spoken by the start, or with the structural data, infrastructure data. Here, this is the data protection. When we know this, we know the trends, we know the information, and we know the business transaction. Over AnyShare, we know the unstructured data. Over the meshing data, we can help you for log analysis or log indications and tracing. All these together, we put into the so-called knowledge graph and give you all over our infra, over AnyShare, all the information you need to have. This means AnyShare will be your daily center to work with your colleagues, to have all kind of information in place. Let me give you an example for regarding backups. You're doing an Oracle data protection every day with high pressure on the most expensive storage you can imagine. And suddenly, after several weeks, your administration recognizes, hey, this database is not in use anymore. There are a lot of tools in the market where you can track this automatically. But with our meshing data, with any robot, the log indicates this from scratch. When there is no access to this database anymore, when there is no update to this database, you can give any robot the instructions, please lower the priority of your Oracle databases or of this special Oracle database automatically. This means the administrator or the technical guys will get an alerting of that, of course, but in parallel, all activities in the back are already taking place. This is the cost saving. This is easier to handle, of course, at the end of the day. Yeah, and at the end of the day, the data decides themselves. You are only using the data when you need them, when you see the information for your best, of course, over AnyShare. But in the back, everything is running on its own. This is the so-called data-driven company. We let the data decide, your data decide, where it is necessary to go and where and who is needed for this information. This is the approach we want to go with you, and keep in mind, this all is a highly secured and highly safe environment. When I say we track the data, we analyze the data for you, with you. This means your infrastructure, your installation tracks this for you. There's no data moved over to China, to any data centers or whatever. It's your environment and you track it for your purpose. This is nothing, no information is going out here. This is, yeah, our new approach and where we want to go in the future. Elmar also has had some partner references, mainly from China country. I will give you as well the Aishu world of cloud, OpenStack, VMware, HPC, Huawei. These are our private clouds. We are in the public cloud with Azure, Huawei, Alibaba, AWS. Also a very big, well-known public cloud vendor in Russia is currently certified. I will not name it so far until the certification is done, but everything is fine. I could also bring in here Deutsche Telekom. This is not mentioned here. Deutsche Telekom is also a partner of us. So all the big names, we are working together with the most interesting and cloud worthwhile technology and platforms. Again, some names. Elmar also mentioned before, we have more than 24,000 global customers. Here some pictures of them and names. Some of these are also presented on our website, of course. Here, deeper list of AnyShare global customers. So also with AnyShare, we are not new. We have very good names in place. And ready for some more information. Several of these in that list. Elmar took out of place, of course, when we have been talking about not naming them. Yes, they are not official references, but we are allowed to give them solution out into those presentations like today, but we are not allowed to present the customer name at the end of the day. One between the cooperation between Moscow and Hong Kong and Guangzhou, I hope I pronounced it correct, and with Tallinn is of course with CITIC Telecom. There are several sites and we are working globally together with them. This is also a very good presentation of us for a global or for an intercompany cooperation. So borders does not mean anything for us anymore. And yeah, if you run into any question or if you need another demonstration for some special feature from us, please let us know. We will always be on your side and help.